Hey everyone, we're going to replace the lift gate assembly for a 2007 Toyota 4Runner. Here are the tools you're going to need: needle nose pliers, extension, a 10mm socket, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a couple of door trim removal tools. You can get them anywhere basically. I got them at Harbor Freight. So let's get started. First thing, you're going to want to pop those little doors off. There's little tabs on the top. I don't know if you really need to open the big one. I just did because it looked like a fun thing to do. And then get your 10mm socket and take that bolt off there, and then you'll be able to take the strap out. Takes a little bit to get that off. I tried to speed it up, but it's still a little slow going here at the first. And then once you get that out, you should be able to grab your door trim removal tools, and then you can pull the push pin fasteners for the for door panels, and just go around the whole outside and pop all those out. And the whole panel, when it's done, it'll slide up just a little bit to come out. And so once you get that off there, it'll expose all of the parts to the rear latch assembly. Of course, there's the wonderful plastic paper with the tar edge on it, so keep the dirt out of it. This is very difficult to work with. If you get that on your hands, it's real hard to deal with. But basically, there's 6 bolts you need to take out. You can see that one gives you there's an access point where you can take your extension through that hole there. Makes it a little easier to get to. And then the 2 around the key, the rear key, and then there's 2 more that you can see there. I guess we're still working on the key here. And that flap keeps getting in the way, so sorry about that. Could have taken the whole thing off, but then I'd had to deal with getting it put back on all the way, and like I said, I hate dealing with that. Anyway, so take these 2 bolts off here, and then there's one more bolt that's not readily visible. So you can see there's a plug in the frame there. So if you pull that plug off, it will give you access to see that bolt, so you can take it out with your long extension and the 10mm deep socket. And that should give you free, or get the trim assembly free, so that you can remove that rear liftgate release hatch switch, I mean. Okay, so now we got all that off. So you'll need your door trim removal tools to pull the molding off. It's attached to there with those plastic plugs again. So just pop those out. There's 3 or 4 of them on each side. And at this point, you should be able to pull that all the way off so you can get to the rear hatch assembly. One thing that's not shown in this video is this is the time where you want to use your Phillips screwdriver to take the screws out of the rear hatch assembly, or the rear switch assembly. Basically, right now we're going to unplug it so we can flip it over, so it's a little easier to get to. So I just use that little door trim tool to lift the stop on it so I could pull that switch out. And so now once that's pulled out, yeah, and then there's that piece of tape there. I don't know what that was all about, but I took it off and put it back on, you'll see. But anyway, right there I'm pointing to where the screws go in the liftgate release switch. And so right now is when, like I said, I didn't show this on the video, but if you have your Phillips head screwdriver, there I'm pointing at where those screws go, and you can pull that away. The reason it's not shown in the video is those I took those out earlier and I couldn't find them to put them back in for the video, so I just thought I'd talk about them. So anyway, once you get those screws out, then you just use your needle nose pliers to squeeze the part of that switch in, and then it pops right out. And so since you've already got it unplugged, it should come right out. And then you can see the reason that I'm changing it is because it's all melted and gooey, and every time you try to open the door, I got, melted plastic all over my hands. So anyway, so we got that out, and now I'm going and cleaning. It's really difficult to see, but I'm basically cleaning all of that plastic and melted junk that was on the top from the switch. I'm basically cleaning all that off so the new switch will make a clean, or it'll be flush with the existing molding. So it takes a few seconds to get that cleaned off. So once that's done, then we'll be able to put the new switch in. So here's the new one. As you can see, it's looks a lot different than the old one because the old one is melted. So we pull the molding back a little bit, put the switch back in there, run the plug through the gap, plug it in. So yeah, got that plugged in now, and I put that extra piece of tape there for good luck, I suppose. So here we go on, I'm actually putting it back together, but one thing I wanted to mention is before you pop those fasteners back in, now see I'm dropping that fastener or the switch keeps falling out. Now's the time where you want to take your Phillips screwdriver and put the screws back in that switch so that they don't fall out like that. I didn't put it in the video again because I lost the screws, and by the time I found them, I didn't want to redo all this, so I kind of left that out, but that's when you'd want to do that. So now put all your bolts back in. You see I'm doing that here, and you're going to want to put the molding back on after you put the bolts in, get them all nice and tight. Get the molding back on, and it should be working fine. Thanks for watching, and I'll put some links in the description to where I got the switch, and ask any questions if you have any. Thanks.